Coming up on Sports Path, we take a look at a slew of basketball highlights that we have. We've been out to a lot of games, and in fact, we've got action from all of your Fab Four schools featured in this episode.
But before some basketball, it's some history in the making on the ice. The White Bear Lake Bears pull off a huge win against Hill Murray for the first time in over 13 years.
Yeah, it'll be exciting highlights when we get to that one. We will have all that and more coming up on this all-new episode of Sports Path.
The Bears take the lead.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Sam Erickson and John Miller. So excited to be back with you after what seems like a very long holiday break. First, how can we do a sport? We got to start first off, John. I got to talk about this. Sorry, man. I know you're a Packers fan, but how can we start a sports show here in Minnesota without talking about that Vikings game? Drop some knowledge on that, man. What do you think?
Just, the missed tackle, and it's their year, it feels like. It just feels like their year.
Well, you're a Packer fan. You've had a lot of good moments in recent years. I got to tell you, it's just fun when the games mean something, and I have something to look forward to all week, and hopefully I got something to look forward to in a couple weeks if they can take care of business on Sunday.
No.
All right, well, get that out of the way. But before we get to what we have for you, all the highlights and stuff that we kind of teased for you there on the intro, we'll start off the episode, as we always do, by checking in with the best from your social media, and we call that the Social Media Montage. All right, to start out this edition of the Montage, we go back to a few weeks ago when the Tartan boys basketball team was showing some love to one of their former players. If you watched last winter's season on SEC Sports, you may have seen a familiar face. That is Jordan Horn. Horn was a standout player for Tartan and went on to play Division I basketball at Siena. Tartan tweeted a photo of the team huddled around the TV watching a Siena game, a great team bonding moment right there.
And then finally, we have a tweet from our very own Alex Westad. You may have seen Alex in our recent episode of Coach's Corner, as well as announcing some of the games we broadcast here on SEC Community. And Alex follows Section 4 AA hockey pretty closely, and he recently tweeted out his Section 4 AA boys hockey rankings. This is, of course, one of the best sections of boys hockey year after year. Well, it's been, Stillwater versus Hill Murray final many times in boys hockey in the past few years, but this year it's shaping up to be some other teams at the top of that conference, Sam.
Yeah, it would definitely be a fun one if White Bear is in the final this year. Looks good for them, of course. We always want to remind you to tweet at us, though, if you want to be included in that social media montage, and I think that's all we have for this week's edition of the Social Media Montage.
All right, now we're going to roll over and take a look at the Metro East girls hockey standings. Not surprisingly, Hill Murray's at the top. Mahtomedi is battling it out with South St. Paul for second place. And Zephyrs lost to the Packers 6-0 on December 19th, but reversed that decision, beating South St. Paul at their place 3-1 last night. North Tartan is having a tough year, as they have the last couple of years, but they've picked up 2 of their 4 wins on the year in conference.
Now we'll go over to the Suburban East, where we have White Bear Lake. They're hanging out in the top 4 in conference, but this team has found it tough in the very good Suburban East, as the Bear, who were once ranked right outside the top 10 in Class 2A, have fallen back a little bit as of late. Bears have lost 5 straight, but they'll look to turn that around tonight as they take on Spring Lake Park in about a half hour in non-conference action.
All right, now we're going to shift over to boys hockey, where we have the White Bear Lake Bears taking on the Hill Murray Pioneers at Aldrich Arena. White Bear Lake hasn't won in the regular season against Hill Murray in 13 years and 1 month to the day. And like many times before, Hill Murray starts off the scoring with about 2:30 left in the first period. Charlie Strobel nets a power play goal after a deflected shot comes right in front of him. It's a 1-0 Pioneer lead after 1 period. Now a big second period though, and Chase Hampstead shoots only wildly on the net as he's coming across the blue line. It finds a hole. It goes in for a 1-1 tie. That's only 17 seconds into the second period. Now almost 5 minutes later, Hill Murray fires back again on the power play. Hill Murray is 2 for 2 now on the power play. Now we'll take you to a couple minutes later, and there will be a pass, and Spencer Millard will eventually shoot the puck on the net. Wyatt Vance stops it, and Blake Meister is right there for the follow-up, and he gets it right behind Vant for another tie. This one's all tied up at 2. Now it stays 2-2, but finally a glimmer of hope for the Bears as Max Genrich nets a goal on a 3-2 breakaway. That's 3-2 Bears at the end of the second. It would stay 3-2 until the third, until about the final second here. Eventually we'll get to Max Genrich gets an empty netter, which will seal the win as White Bear Lake beats the Pioneers 4-2, something that hasn't happened since 2004, as we said, 13 years and 1 month prior to this game. Of course, White Bear had a huge win in 2011 Section 4 AA finals to go to the state tournament. But besides that, it's been Hill Murray for over a decade and 3 years of hockey.
So big win for the Bears there. We'll take a look at the Metro East standings, how the Bears play in Hill Murray. They're in the Metro East, but Mahtomedi is a team playing some really good hockey this season. A year after making the state tournament, I think this year's team might be even better. The Class A Zephyrs only trail St. Thomas Academy, one of the state favorites for Class 2A in the Metro East Conference. Now, one of the biggest surprises is that Hill Murray team. Not only are the Pioneers hovering around 500 in conference, they are 5-7-4 overall. Now the section tournament is far off, but this looks like to be 1 year where Hill Murray will not be heading to the state tournament. Definitely doesn't look like they'll be lifting that Metro East crown this year either, John. Now over to the Suburban East, where we'll take a look at the Bears. They're playing good hockey as well, 11-2 overall, and the Bears have outscored their opponents 25-1 in their last 3 games, and that includes a 3-0 win over Section 4 rivals Stillwater. Now this looks like it could be quite a year for White Bear Lake. I cannot wait for that section play to start. It is going to be one heck of a tournament again this year, like it always is. As we saw with our boy Alex Westad, White Bear might actually go into it as the #1 seed, and that would be pretty dang sweet. That would give them a good chance to make it to the XL Energy Center and that state tournament.
You're dang right, Sam. That would be awesome. Let's take you to the girls' basketball now. Mahtomedi versus Tartan. This one taking place at Mahtomedi High School. A young, speedy Tartan team is poised against this Mahtomedi group. Could you ask for a better opener in the Metro East girls slate? The band was out in full force at Mahtomedi under band director Michael Moeller. We always love to see them out at the basketball games to get their squad pumped up. And now the lights are out as Zaria Chevrolet suits up and gets introduced for Tartan, leading the team with about 16 points per game. And on the other side, she's tall, measuring in at 6'3". It's Emma Grotehouse leading her team with a whopping 23 points per game. And boy, this game lived up to the billing, and Mahtomedi's big name stepped up accordingly. Annika Sogstad starts things off with a short-range jumper for 2 points. And as you know, the MIT recruit can knock down the mid-range, just as well. She does that this time from about 17 feet en route to 11 points she had on the night. Zephyr zipped to a 13-2 run to open up the contest. And as you know, Emma Grotehouse would play a role in this one as she banks in a 15-footer. The bank was open. Lehigh University is definitely going to love her range and her size. And now some good pressure put on by Tartan early in this one, but the Zephyrs move the ball around, and they give Eve Farrell a chance at the basket. She sinks it. This adds to the Zephyrs scoreboard lead. Now triple teamed eventually. This ball will go down to Emma Grotehouse. She'll dribble into the dribble team. She kicks it out to Lydia Mall, who will drain this three, as the Zephyrs would go on a 13-2 run. Now Tartan will be a team to watch in the coming years. Kendra Ekareke is one reason why. From the top of the key this time, the junior drives through traffic. She beats Emma Grotehouse this time, bakes it in for the layup. And that, my friends, against that good of a player, takes some guts. Now, a short time later, Ekareke sets up sophomore sensation Yazaria Chevrolet. She's not afraid of Grotehouse either, and she'll drain the runner. A little Steve Nash-esque, nothing but net. The Titans are closing in, but Grotehouse has had enough of getting beat. She misses her initial drive against Ekareke here. No worries, however. She gets her own rebound. She puts it back up for 2, gets the pounce and the foul. That one will turn out to be a 3-point opportunity. Grodhouse scored 13 points in the first half, and the Zephyrs led 29-22. Now Aurora Roberts gets the ball down low and makes a move on Annika Sogstad for a quick and easy basket. Now we'll see more Grodhouse and Sogstad in the second half. Aurora Roberts over pursues on Grodhouse, and that leaves Sogstad wide open. Sogstad will dribble up here. A little stop and pop for a two-pointer, mid-range jumper. Now Katya Cummings will eventually fire back for Tartan as she nails a deep shot from outside the arc, as this one will be a three-point contest just a little bit. Now Grodhouse will eventually show her power down low. You're not going to stop that size forever. Once again, she misses her initial shot under the basket. What would happen again this time? Somehow Grodhouse ends up back with it, and she doesn't give up. That's an extra 2 points right there. Now later in the half, more mid-range magic from Grodhouse. She can shoot it forever down low, mid-range, midway. She baits Dejanay McKinney on the pump fake, pulls up from the elbow, and swish, and Grodhouse scored 28, her 9th 20-point game of the season, and the season's still young. Tartan not going away, however. Watch this series of passes as Katya Cummings goes to McKinney, who spots Ekareke on a backdoor play. Easy layup for the junior. Ekareke scored 16 on the night. Now the Titans flip the script a short time later. Ekareke feeds McKinney, and the senior goes underneath Grodhouse for an easy layup, but that was McKinley's only basket, but boy, was it a big one. Now Tartan rolling eventually, and Chevre feeds Ekareke. This time the junior tries the baseline, but Grodhouse seals it off eventually here. And she'll do a little bit of a spin move, and she'll bank in another layup. Titans cut a 10-point second half deficit to only 2. However, Mahtomedi came up clutch in the finish. Grodhouse can't find the kick-out option, but she spots a lane through. Grodhouse outruns Chevre, and she completes the finishing blow. Zephyrs close it out with free throws for a 55-46 win over Tartan Titan squad, who's always a formidable opponent in the Metro East. And you know, it's always a heated matchup between these two schools. And Mike Peden caught up with Emma Grodhouse after the game as she scored a team-high 28 points on the night. This girl cannot be stopped.
Talk about your poise, because that was a big element, especially late when Tartan got within 2 and you were able to win the game with free throws, and you had a couple of nice moves to the bucket.
Yeah, it was just a really good win because they always want to come out. We're like their biggest rival. They play their best game against us every time, and so we just knew we had to beat them and take care of business.
How does a game like this prime you for Metro East Conference play? Because, you know, Tartan on the rise, Hale Murray looking pretty good, so I think this gives you a precursor that there's going to be some pretty good battles.
Yeah, our conference is tough. We have a couple of the top teams in their section and class, so this was a good team to battle and a good first win for a conference opening.
How relieving is it to come out of here, you know, with the victory? Because there aren't too many easy games. You know, even the Como game, you had to sweat that one out. So what does it say about the poise and the determination of this team where you can withstand so many runs from all of these high-caliber teams?
Yeah, they came into our own gym and they were like rocking it. It was so loud in here. And so it was just a good win because, again, they always just play their best game against us. So
lots of great basketball being played by our Fab Four boys and girls team, but let's take a look at the girls standings here for Metro East. We just saw Mahtomedi get that big win. Mahtomedi is leading the way with a 3-0 conference record, 12-1 overall, and no surprise that Emma Grodhouse has this team on fire as she averages 23 points per game. They are currently ranked 5th in Class 3A. Now Tartan is in the middle of the pack with a 2-2 conference record, 10-6 overall. Zaria Chevre played as a fantastic freshman last year, is killing it this year, averaging 16 points per game. Chevre is fun to watch and will be exciting to see how good she can be with 2 years left to play in high school. North St. Paul is currently at the bottom of the standings with a big 0 in the win column for conference play, but they do have 2 wins overall, and they do not have one player averaging over double figures this year. With that, we'll go into a highlight. This one happened just last night as Roseville Raiders came to the South Campus over there at White Bear Lake. Roseville coming into it with a nice record. They'll start it off as Jada Hood gets the roll on the 3-pointer. and puts Roseville up 3-0. White Bear couldn't get on the board for nearly 3 minutes until Anna Sanders finds her touch from beyond the three-point arc to put the Bears' first points onto the board. Sanders keeps it coming with another three-pointer to make it 8-6. Gets a nice kind roll off the front of the iron. And no one can get the ball in the net besides Sanders. She makes a nice cut to make it 8 points for the Bears. They trail 14-8. Jumping ahead to the second half, Roseville up by 12. Now a nice pass over the top for the Bears to Jordan Farron. And that would make it a 10-point game at 40-30. But the Bears won't be able to catch up to Roseville. Jada Johnson goes for 2 right there. That was 2 of her 19 points with the transition basket. And it was going to be all Roseville from that point on. 52-37 is the final for the girls game. We will have the highlights for the boys game coming up later in the broadcast courtesy of CTV. So Roseville wins that Suburban East matchup 52-37. And John, I think you're going to take a look at those standings.
Yeah, let's take a look at those standings right now. Moving over to the Suburban East to check on the only Suburban East team we have, White Bear Lake Bears. And I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of shocked by this record. A team that made a huge state tournament run last year to the barn where the Gophers play, and they returned most of their stars. They're currently 8-8 overall, 3-4 in conference play. Courtney Crouch, surprisingly, is the only player averaging double figures with 12 points per game. But I do have little doubt that this team can get back to its winning ways. There's still plenty of season left. All right, now it's time to shift over to boys basketball. We're going to take you to a tough Metro East matchup between St. Thomas Academy and the Mahtomedi Zephyrs, both starting out the year decently. And now Camargo Lara boosts the Zephyrs ahead with an early three-pointer, making it 17-2. Drano, now after hesitating on a shot, Jack Stoltman will eventually kick this one out to Noah Chamberlain to give the Cadets their first lead of the night as he nails a three, making it now 13-11. The Cadets get a rebound. They try to bring the ball down the court, but Javon Headley has other plans. He gets the steal, and he takes it to the hoop. He draws a lot of contact on his first shot, and if that wasn't a foul, then he gets his own rebound. He takes the second one, that's for sure, and the ball falls in the net. Hanley gets the three-point play. Scores now 21-17. This time, Timmy Lindquist can't get the three to drop on the Zephyr end of the court, so a quick transition for St. Thomas Academy. Sends the ball right back the other way with no look under the hoop. The ball is kicked out to Ben Schlepper, who drains it for a three and puts the Cadets above the Zephyrs once again. Now we get another three. Neck and neck at the end of the first half. O'Malley drinks that. He sinks it for a three, and he puts St. Thomas ahead again. Leaving the first half, the Cadets led the Zephyrs by a single point, 41-40, and you're going to want to remember that for later. Only 25 minutes real time off the clock for this first half, and that's the fast. St. Thomas jumps ahead out to their biggest lead of the contest, 46-40, after a trade from Sam Vassalero. And lucky for the Zephyrs, they have Carmogalero to drain his three. Scores now 46-47. Now after the Zephyrs gain the lead, no one guards O'Malley at the three-point line, and he gets that one from easy three. Now it's all 52-52 when the ball gets knocked out. Sam Vassalero slams the ball down. He gets teed up as he just can't do that, and that, folks, would change the game after that technical foul as he asked the ref why he got that technical foul. And remember, folks, this game is tied at 52-52. You just can't do that. And it was all Zephyrs after that. Javon Hadley has a nice move into the paint after free throws from the technical. It's 56-52 now. Now it's 58-53 after the ball gets to Shea for the Zephyrs for a couple points. And now we'll get another shot by Shea from a great assist by Laro. Zach Center adds a few points on the board after that one. The lead is now up 65-55, 9 minutes left to play. This time Carmoga Lara keeps that coming with another three-pointer. This kid was on fire, 68-55. It's the start of the end of the game right here. Now Carmoga Lara, he just can't miss. You know the bank is open. You know things are going right with that jumper at the free throw line. And the Zephyrs are ahead by 17 now. Now another technical comes against the Cadets. This time, Dennis Kelly is the culprit. A little too much reaction after that. Foul is called on him. The refs certainly keeping their whistles close by. And the second half certainly was a completely different game than the first half as the Zephyrs went on a 25-11 run after that, a technical foul, or 35-11, really changing their momentum. And we talked to Carmoga Lara after this game.
They helped me through it, and yeah, and my coaches as well, always encouraging me especially, and just encouraging us to work hard. Yeah, just working hard and getting a lot of help from our teammates and It's hard work. Yeah, just to go out and play hard and play good defense. That was just our game plan, and we went out and executed.
All right, so that was a big game there. Mahtomedi picking up the win against conference rival St. Thomas Academy. I think we're going to get into another basketball highlight. We had another good game here. Shots of Tartan and North St. Paul. There it is. The annual rivalry between these two brought out a capacity crowd as it has for the past couple of years. Both these teams coming to this one very good again. Polars seeking their third straight win, while the Tartan Titans coming to this one 11-0. So very exciting. This one was going to be a classic as well. On Tartan's first possession, Antoine Kimmons lines up for the three and buries it, and that was going to be the first of many baskets for the Tartan senior. Speaking of seniors, Good News Capedel is on the other side. He showed off his range. He drains a three from the top of the key, and the two seniors start off trading blows, something they're going to do all night long. Second chance plays were just as crucial in this one. On Tartan's end, Kimmons misses a three-pointer here, but Dante Aganmanwe races to the rim and gets a friendly tip for the putback. Different players, same result a few plays later. Brady Hartman can't knock down the three, but Kenton Miller squeezes through the hole, goes back up, gets the foul and the basket. Titans build up an 8-point lead midway through the first. But it was North St. Paul's turn to attack the glass. Capedel missing a 15-footer, no problem there. Marcus Sims jumps up for the board and gets the lay-in. Under 2 minutes left in the first half. Off a steal, DeJuan Carter goes cross court to Bryce Phillips, and the senior takes a baseline drive. Friendly bounce tacks on 2 of his 12 points for this one, but the Titans led 33-29 at the break. And there's Bryce Phillips going baseline, getting the roll. So 33-29 lead for Titans at the break. We jump to the 8:40 mark of the second half. Ogunwanyi denies Capedel at the rim. Kimmons takes the ball up the court, then hands it to Joseph Kearney on the shovel pass. Sophomore finds the hole, drains the runner, and Tartan makes it 51-50. Polars respond with a short but sweet run. Titus Dean finds Yao Demenya open in the corner. The 6'2 senior fires it, and our camera op knew that triple was going in. The crowd cheers for that one big time as the rivalry continued to heat up. Short time later, Capedel takes a feed from Brendan Lankford. Johnson pulls up from 16 and knocks down the J. Capedel scored a team-high 29 for the Polars. The Titans trail 62-58 with over 3 minutes left. Kimmons wasn't ready to resign, drives through traffic and floats in a bucket en route to a season-high 38 points for the seniors. Now the Polars are back up 4 again. A perfect time for Carter to demonstrate his fearlessness. He'll take this drive to the rack, and the junior put up 14 points off the bench. No call there. Refs letting him be a little bit physical. Now the Titans are still behind by 4 as the seconds are ticking away. Andre Jenkins Whitmore bricks a three-pointer, but the Polars can't control the rebound. Hartman grabs the ball and with the defender in his face, sinks the triple to make it a 73-72 game. 3.5 seconds left to go on the clock. Now the Polars made their free throws, but the Titans had a chance with 2.8 seconds to go on the clock. Hartman looks for an inbound target, but his pass finds absolutely no one. The wait to exhale is over, and North St. Paul could celebrate the gritty 76-72 win to take over first place in the Metro East. We had Mike Padan catch up with Good News Capedel DeJuan Carter to chat about the big win over District 622 rival, the Tartan Titans, who picked up their first loss on the game. Here's Mike Padan with the players.
You switched to a zone defense in that last minute to seal Tartan off. Was that by design, or was that something, how did you come up with it?
Yeah, that was by design, because we know they weren't shooting any threes that game. They weren't really shooting, they were just attacking, so we wanted them to shoot.
What does it mean not only to knock off an undefeated team, but also take first place in the Metro East with a win like this?
That was just a beautiful win. Everybody fought hard, both teams. That was just a good game, and that was a good one to win.
Well, with the work we put in on the offseason and all the work we do during practice, we kind of expected to win, but we just got to humble ourselves and move on to the next one, and hopefully we can keep this rolling and go undefeated the rest of the season.
Now let's take a look at those boys basketball Metro East standings. This is shaping up to be a tough conference. North St. Paul currently sits at the top with a 4-0 record, 9-2 overall. Good News Capedel is currently leading the team with 18 points per game as the former Gopher and now North head coach Damian Johnson has this team going in the right direction. And now if you look at Tartan, they started off the year with an 11-game win streak, but have lost the last 2 games they have played. Both were tough games, however, both against being North and St. Thomas Academy. They have a 3-2 conference record. Anton Kimmons is leading the way for the Titans, averaging 21 points per game. Mahtomedi is currently 1-2 in the conference, 9-4 overall. Javon Hadley is leading the way for the Zephyrs with 16 points per game. However, they have 4 players who average over 10 points per game. They are currently ranked 7th in Class 3A.
All right, so there's your Metro East standings. Now we'll switch to the Suburban East, bring you that game I promised you from CTV. This is the boys' side of things when Roseville welcomed White Bear Lake, and Blake Charles is going to get things started for White Bear Lake, scoring in the paint to start it at 2-0. Now Roseville had to take a timeout, and after that timeout, Jeremy Beckler converts off an inbound play to cap off a 10-point run to start the game. Offensive rebound there, Avery Nelson gets the 3 points for Roseville to give them some momentum at 15-5. And that was Drew Adams with the three-pointer. And with this is Drew Adams right here with the three-pointer, about 7 minutes ago. Roseville now trails by 2 as they got back into it. We'll move into the second half. Gary Smith grabs the rebound. He will take it all the way himself to give Roseville their first lead in the matchup at 30-29. Here is going to be the Gary Smith play, Takes it, runs it the whole length of the court. Some nice athleticism there from Gary Smith of Roseville. Devontae Munson hits a monster three-pointer with about 7.5 to go to put Roseville up by 8. That is their biggest lead so far, so White Bear with the early lead can't hold on. Now Gary Smith's going to get a steal here. He'll take it all the way again, and he'll put Roseville up 50-40, their biggest lead of the game to this point now. Carter Eller shoots a 3 to get White Bear Lake back in the game. And he'll get a big foul as well as he is pushed down. He'll go 2 for 3 from the line to put the Bears behind by only 2 points, but that is not enough for the Bears. It's going to be a 58-55 final as White Bear falls to Roseville in a close Suburban East matchup. And I think with that, we'll take a look at our only team here in the Suburban East for boys basketball, and that is White Bear Lake. And they're having a nice little turnaround season after last year not having such a great year. They've only won 6 games last year, but have surpassed that already with 8 wins this year. And if you take a look at that overall record, sit at 8-6 overall, over 500. They play in one of the toughest conferences in the state and sit near the bottom with a 2-3 record. Sam Schwartz leading the way for the Bears at 19 points per game.
Yeah, folks, well, it's been over a month. It's my time for Athletes of the Week. All right, for my female athlete of the week, I have to go with Mahtomedi senior forward. Of course, it's Emma Grodhaus. This woman's dominating. She's averaging 23 points per game and had 25 points in a win over Hastings, 68-40 the other day. Now, for my male athlete of the week, I have to go with Anton Kimmins, junior guard for Tartan. He had 33 points in that 77-75 loss last night to St. Thomas Academy. But this kid is absolutely balling out. I love watching him play, and he's taking over for Jordan Horn. A big step up, Sam, when that team absolutely needed him.
Yeah, a couple nice athletes of the week right there. That was your athletes of the week. I was going to say before I forgot we had to roll that graph right there. Probably could give Emma Groudhouse Athlete of the Week every week the way she's played. I'm sure she's probably had that honor already on her show in past seasons. Shows how long she's been doing that. And then how about Antoine Kimmins? 38 and 33 points, albeit in a couple losses, but that's a couple nice games.
Yeah, and he's only a junior. You know, Tartan's got Anton Kimmins and Uzaria Chevre, a great tandem on the boys and the girls side. I mean, that's got to be fun to watch. And I know I can't wait to call some of their games here in the next couple months.
Yeah, got a couple of our Fab Four teams doing, actually all of our Fab Four teams doing big things. Saw Tartan looking good there in hockey as well as both boys and girls basketball. Of course, White Bear Lake boys hockey doing very incredible things there in the Metro East and hopefully beyond that.
Had Damian Johnson doing big things in North St. Paul. I see him on Twitter. He's very active. He loves this squad, and he's excited. He's definitely got them at the, on the right direction, Sam.
Well, it's an exciting time here at SEC Sports. That should just about do it for us, as I think we're out of time. We're going to have our next episode of Sports Path coming up for you on February 7th at 7 p.m. Of course, check our website for all of our upcoming broadcasts, and we're going to be out there checking up on all these great Fab Four teams. I want to thank you for watching, and have a good night.
Zach centers.
Jeb has been benched after that technical.
Carbogalero again. Pressure isn't already on already. Hampstead score from the blue line. Chase Hampstead 17 seconds in.
Hasn't offered to a college yet. He's got a ton of puck handling potential.
Good shot, score. Give it to Meister. Bears tie it up again. over. He'll slide it to his right to McMurtry. Goes across. Gendron shot. Score! Late in the second, the Bears take the lead.